Hey everybody, this is Joe Hudson, and I wanted to talk today a little bit about how to approach self-awareness or self-development. And there's three things about the approach that are really important. The first thing is that you treat it all with gratitude. The second thing is that it's really important that it's experimentation. And then the third thing that's really important is that what we're here doing isn't about improving yourself, it's about discovering your authentic self. So when you're in the middle of learning something, let's say you're playing tennis and you hit the ball when you're playing tennis and then you miss and then you hit and then you miss and then you hit. There's this idea that if you beat yourself up every time you miss, you're gonna somehow improve. And that's not how it works at all in self-development. If you beat yourself up for not keeping to a practice, or if you beat yourself up for not listening with an open heart, one thing that's happening is that you're slowing down the progress, because it's really important that you titrate, that you go pendulate back and forth to be able to learn something. And so if every time you're like in the natural learning process, from understanding to not understanding to understanding to not understanding, if you beat yourself up, then you slow down that entire process instead of saying, oh, this is cool. The second thing that's really important is that at the moment that you realize that you've forgotten, at the moment that you realize, oh, I haven't been in the practice, or I haven't been listening with an open heart, then you're listening with an open heart again, then you're in the practice again. And so when you beat yourself up, you're actually beating yourself up for being in the practice, for the remembering. And so the way that the nervous system works is, oh, I remembered, you fucked up. And so you're punishing the remembering. So it's so much better to say, oh, I've done it and I'm grateful, and oh, I just remembered and I'm grateful that I remembered. Also, it's just a shit ton more fun to be in a place of gratitude than it is to be in a place of beating yourself up. Experimentation is critical. So everybody's brains are a little bit different. Everybody was raised differently. And what that means is that even if, let's say that we know what all the steps are, which nobody knows, right? All the steps for your particular development, nobody knows what order those steps should be in. And sometimes the order is more important than the steps. And so no matter what, looking for someone else to tell you your truth is never going to work as effectively as running experiments and finding out what your own truth is. So a great example of this is, let's say you want to figure out how to enjoy your life more. And somebody says, it's really important, like I just did. I just said, oh, hey, enjoyment and gratitude is far better. Great. So you listen to that, you hear it, but instead of going, oh, that's right, and I'm going to be grateful, fuck that, run an experiment. Say, oh, I'm gonna do gratitude practice 10 minutes a day for 2 weeks and see what the hell happens. I'm gonna be grateful every time I remember and see what the hell happens. That's a far better way to do it than to just take my word for it. One, because you learn it a lot better if you actually are in an active relationship with it. But two is, well, maybe gratitude doesn't work for you right now. Let's find out. Or maybe there's a way in which you can do gratitude that you're going to discover in that experimentation that works better for you. And so don't take anybody's word for it. If you hear something that you think, oh, that resonates with me, or that's something that doesn't resonate with me, is it triggering me, and I want to experiment with it, then design an experiment where you get to play with it for a while and find out what's true for you. So let's say I went out into the world and I acted like some guy named like Tim Harris, right? And I'm out there walking and acting like Tim Harris. And the people who like Tim Harris are going to be around me. And the people who don't like Tim Harris are going to be away from me. And the people who reward Tim Harris are going to reward me. And the people who punish Tim Harris are going to punish me. And so I have a world that's fit for Tim Harris. I don't have a world that's fit for me, Joe Hudson. But if I'm authentic, then I actually find people who like me, and I have a world that's set up for me. If you improve yourself and you're not yourself, then certain things happen. Like you can never love yourself because you can't love yourself if you're not being yourself. Other people can't love you because then they're loving who you're trying to be, not actually who you are. So you can't actually feel the reward of living unless you're living as you. You can't get the love, you can't enjoy yourself. More importantly than that, you create a life that actually suits you. And so there's this idea somewhere that there's like one way to succeed. There's one way of being good. But there's 1,000 different people, completely different people that are successful in their own right. So that's the third reason that it's really important to be authentic and to approach the whole thing as, oh, I'm discovering who I am. I'm discovering how to be more me. Then I'm thinking about how to improve myself. The reason that all this is important is you think about this like sports for a second. There's one kid who's like learning to play volleyball and they are saying, I can't wait to learn volleyball. I'm so excited for volleyball. I love that practice. I can't wait to get out and give it my best shot. And then you have another person, another kid, just as talented, who's saying to themselves, oh God, I got to do some volleyball today. My mom made me do the volleyball, right? It's clear who's going to be more effective. So it's the same thing with self-awareness or transformation as it is with, volleyball. How you orient to it is going to make a huge difference. And so if you think about it this way, hey, I can have a transformational process where I'm grateful the whole time or I'm beating myself up the whole time, where I'm finding out what's true for me and I am making it mine by experimenting as compared to I'm just digesting what other people tell me is true. If I'm having a transformational process where I'm learning to be myself and be fully authentic, you're gonna have a far better chance of success, but more importantly, you're just gonna have a much better time in your transformational journey. Post anything down there that you have other questions about, other content that you want to see from us. And thanks so much for showing up.